And welcome to another edition of our treatment of the International Sunday School lesson. Today's lesson is entitled Trust in God Alone, and it's taken from Psalm 62. And today's lesson is for October the 27th, 2024, Fall Quarter, lesson number 9. Now, a little background information. Today's lesson is a Psalm of David, and David reflects on the opposition he experienced in his life and God's mighty deliverance. David talks about how God's deliverance actually works, and confidence in man's help will often fail. Psalm 62, 1 and 2. For God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken. David uses the imagery of silence for calmness. It was with calm silence that David faced tribulation. It's the greatness of God that brings that calm silence over David's heart. We should be still and be silently calm, resting in God during our times of trouble. The psalmist said, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices." And that's in Psalms 37 and 7. Psalm 62, 3 and 4. How long will all of you attack a man to batter him, like a leaning wall, a tottering fence? They only plan to thrust him down from his high position. They take pleasure in falsehood. They bless with their mouths, but inwardly they curse. Selah. David describes the secret plotting of evil folks trying to bring him down. He could have been describing his son Absalom. David's own son plotted to take over his kingdom. He could have been describing King Saul with his two-faced deceptions. David faced several plots. This type of thing happens to all of us at one time or another. We must depend on God to deliver us from evil plots. We should all pray the prayer found in Psalm 28 and 3. Do not drag me off with the wicked, with the workers of evil, who speak peace with their neighbors while evil is in their hearts. Psalm 62, 5 and 7. For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence. For my hope is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken. On God rests my salvation and my glory. My mighty rock, my refuge is God. David gives a comprehensive description of God's care. The imagery is beautiful here. The rock represents God as our source of safety. Salvation represents our deliverance. Fortress represents our security. Glory represents honor and good name that a relationship with God gives. Friends, our refuge is God Almighty. Psalm 62 and 8. Trust in him at all times. O people, pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Selah. No matter what the problem is that you face, trust God through all your problems. The psalmist said, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. And that's in Psalm 37 and 3. Psalm 62, 9 and through 10. Those of low estate are but a breath. Those of high estate are a delusion. In the balances they go up, they are together lighter than a breath. Put no trust in extortion. Put no vain hopes on robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart on them. God is our only hope. Riches, fame, political power, and education are fleeting. These things are here today and gone tomorrow. Circumstances can turn on a dime. That is what these two verses are saying. People, regardless of status, are nothing but a mere breath. The Hebrew word, hebel, is translated breath or vapor. Here today, gone tomorrow. God is the only eternal, omnipotent being. Put your faith and trust in God. Psalm 62, 11 and 12. Once God has spoken, twice have I heard. Once God has spoken, twice have I heard this, that power belongs to God, and that to you, O Lord, belongs steadfast love. For you will render to a man according to his work. The once and twice imagery of God speaking underscores that we are told things more than once by God. God tells us more than once and more than one way. He is merciful and long-suffering. He gives us more than one time to hear His word. Well, friends, a couple of concluding thoughts. Everyone faces trouble sometimes. Everyone has been tricked and double-crossed at one time or another by someone we thought was our friend. Depend on God to see you through during those times. Well, friends, good Lord willing, I'll be back with you next weekend.